Okay.
All of the
Yeah, it
Cubase
should be.
is all good?
Yeah, it should be good to go.
Okay, and what about the intro outro for...
It's not on there.
Okay, and that's okay, because we don't
Yeah.
have... Will you silence your phone, please? Can you
Is
do
that
that?
mine?
Yeah, that was yours.
There's two things here.
Why is mine still down? Who did that? Dave.
I didn't do it.
One, stop messing with my stuff.
It was me. I've done it twice already.
Well, that's why I was kept asking, like...
What do you mean there's
What
two
is these
things?
two things? One,
Oh, wait. One you need to mute,
No.
right?
Just hit play, see what happens.
Yeah, see?
There's
Yeah.
two.
There's
Two at
two.
the same time.
Okay.
We go over there really quick and just have him mute it.
Click the M on the top track. On the top one. Not the
No,
very top
no.
track. Not just of those two. You see the M?
Yeah.
Did he do it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Right? Just hit play, see what happens.
What did you just do?
I stopped.
Oh, why?
I was just testing.
Oh, well, we're live.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Warning, the Catholic Man Show is about to begin.
Yes. And welcome to the Catholic Man Show. We're on the Lord's team, the winning side, so raise your glass. Adam Minahan here, sitting with David Niles to my right, and to my left is a long time coming guest. It has only taken us 1.5, possibly 2 years. 1.5?
1.5. Maybe less than 1.5, but close.
Approximately 1.5
Yeah.
years to get onto the Catholic Man Show. We have...
He's a hard man to book.
He is, and we may not be good salesmen either. We may not have pitched it very well. That could be us. That could be on us.
Yeah.
But we have the beard, and also Joey Spencer is here with us this evening.
And his beard. Is that what you mean?
No,
Hello, guys.
No, I put his beard first, and then him.
Right. Yeah, but you're saying that his beard and himself are present. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Saint, thanks for hanging out with us.
You're welcome.
You know, the last person that I'm aware of who referred to their beard apart from themselves was Saint Guy and
Thomas More.
More. Thank you. More.
My beard has offended the king.
I was gonna say Saint Martin, and I was like, that's not Saint Martin.
Right before he gets his head chopped off, he said, "My
Yeah,
beard
he said,
has."
"Let me move my beard. My beard hath not offended the king."
And then his head got
And
cut
his
off.
head got
Yeah.
cut
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
But his beard presumably was
His
Stuck
kappa
to it.
got detated.
indeed, indubitably.
That's a Michael Scott reference. Anyway, okay, we're digressing really quick. Welcome to the Catholic Man Show. If this is your first time listening to the Catholic Man Show, we open, review, and enjoy a man beverage. The second thing we do that we may or may not be doing this evening is highlighting a man gear, and then we have a manly discussion. Joey Spencer is with us, like we had mentioned. Joey, you work at the Chancery at the Diocese of Tulsa in Eastern Oklahoma.
I do, yes.
And this evening, we're having actually, I've wanted to have this scotch for quite a while. You're a Scotch man, Joey. You enjoy a nice dram of scotch every once in a while.
Yeah.
But this scotch is exciting for me. The first time I had this scotch was in the Whiskey Library in Portland, Oregon.
I have heard beautiful fairy tales of that place, mostly from you.
Yes, it is. It is a great. If you're ever in Portland,
Thank you.
go to the Whiskey Library because it is awesome. But it's Bowmore 15 Darkest. It's a 15-year scotch. chronologically, my understanding is Bowmore is the oldest of the Islay distilleries.
Okay.
It is, like I said, a 15-year Scotch. It is it's aged in ex-bourbon barrels and then a little bit of sherry cask at the very end.
Yeah. Yeah, the sherry is a nice finish at the very end. Joey, I really like, though, the nickname that you gave it.
Yeah, it's like a Christmas Laphroaig
Yeah.
or whatever. So you got the Laphroaig there on the beginning, and then just that little hint of sweetness that makes life a little merry, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, very nice. Yeah, I like it a lot.
It is a very good balance
Mm-hmm.
of the smoky with the just hint of sweet there at the end, kind of maybe some chocolate tones on the finish.
Yeah, a little toffee, a little. So I had this last night. My wife's birthday was yesterday. Shout out to my wife. I actually dedicate this whole episode to my wife this evening.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And I had her try a little bit of it. I had some last night, and she actually said this was her tasting notes, which just made me proud. Like she's really like developing her palate, Joey. She said it tastes it's smoky up front, and then she said it tastes like a burnt sugar at the end. And I was like, very well done. I mean, it's like toffee.
I'm gonna go home and just burn the crap out of a bunch of sugar, just
that's
so
like
I can
toffee, right?
really peg that flavor next time I encounter it.
Yeah. So let's cheers real quick. We're on the Lord's team.
The winning side.
So raise your glass.
Cheers to Jesus.
Cheers. Oh, we also have Juan here this evening. Juan is our producer this evening. Shout out to Juan. He is our guy who ships all of our Catholic Man Show Glencairn glasses, our whiskey glasses. He's kind of the jack of all trades for us.
Yeah, and if you would like to get one yourself, you should go and join our Council of Man.
Yes.
You can go to thecatholicmanshow.com. You can click on the COM button, Council of Man. If you sign up to donate $10 a month to support what we do here on the show, we will send you one. You'll have your very own Catholic Man Show Glencairn glass, laser etched with lasers.
Yes.
They're frickin' sharks with laser beams. They're very artistic sharks.
Typically, FYI, if you sign up to be a Council of Man, it takes about 4 to 5 weeks before we typically ship, because we try to ship them all at one time.
Yeah, Juan does our shipping, and he's a volunteer. He's
right.
free.
So, however, after 4 to 5 weeks,
to Juan.
After 4 or 5 weeks, if you do not get it, reach out to me so we can make sure to get you one. Anyway, so those are my tastings. You know, as you can tell, it has it's darker amber color. Typically Laphroaig is a lighter color, right, Joey? I mean, but this one is a darker amber color, which is it says darkest on.
I think that's from the sherry cask. You think that has a lot to do with it?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Because it's also got it's that amber. It's not just dark,
sherry cask finish,
but it's kind of got that orange, pink.
43% alcohol. So anyway, I really like this Scotch. It's up there with some of my favorites. If I had to, it wouldn't be like the one I would go to if I was, as Dr. Taylor Marshall said, like going to the gallows tomorrow. It's not my last one.
What would it be if you were going to the gallows tomorrow?
It would be some kind of 30-year like Macallan or something like that. Something that I've never had before.
Would you go with something new that you didn't have before? Or would you go with an old standard because you know that last drink is going to be a really good one? I mean, because
that's a good point.
You could pick something and you could
be disappointed.
Really thing, and then it's like, that was my last drink.
That what this says a lot about you. Do you want to sample one more thing that God's creation has to provide?
Right?
No, in some way come to know God a little bit better by encountering another piece of His creation, or do you want to rely on I know that I'm going to have a nice leisure, because you could be disappointed if you pick a new one.
This, which has been my favorite for so long.
Right, yeah.
And just,
I think they're both
that's good enough.
I think both ways are good.
Yeah.
Depending on your temperament.
It is, yeah, temperament. Definitely.
But it is one that I thoroughly enjoy.
So it's a little bit more expensive. So that's kind of
I think it's like, what
this
is
was $75. Yeah. So, you compare that to our home team, Laphroaig.
Right, at 46.
45, yeah.
Yeah.
45 and change. It's tough to buy. It's tough to buy anything else, that it's almost like something has to be cheaper than Laphroaig for me to really
But if
spend
you're
my
having
money on it.
if you're having a couple of buddies over or Christmas time, this would be a perfect
Yeah.
bottle to have over for a couple of buddies.
Yeah, it's a special occasion. It's
Right.
like I wouldn't want to drink it all the time.
No,
I mean, it's not a drink all the time
no,
drink. I mean, it's got that nice little finish on the end of it. That,
Mm-hmm.
it's not
Yeah,
one that
sweetness.
I want a whiskey because I'm still kind of chasing my kids around.
Right.
This is one that you want to savor, that you want to, you
It's
kind
for
of
an
sip
occasion.
on. Yeah.
Ideally, I
absolutely.
think there's a fireplace, which we were sitting downstairs by the fireplace earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pro fireplace.
Yeah,
we
me
we were
too.
talking about this. And we have the Alcuin Institute here. And I feel like the Alcuin Institute is also very pro fireplace.
Yeah, I think they like fires.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know why? Because they're men.
They're men. Men. I think all men like fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Men do.
It's part of our DNA.
yeah.
It's on the helix somewhere. There's the fire gene that, like men have and women, like some
Yeah.
stuff like that. We have it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's on the helix. It's in there.
Joey,
It's in
one
there.
of the episodes we actually had a flamethrower as the man gear.
I have a personal affinity for flamethrowers,
I
and
just ran down to Best Buy to pick up my flamethrower.
well,
It was on sale at a coupon.
so our in the Council of Men, our supporters are they're the best, and so routinely whenever they come across new flamethrowers for sale on the internet, they make sure to post them and tag me in the.
What you think? Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's once a year. No, that's
It's
surprisingly
a few times,
Yeah, it's about once a quarter.
and it could be more.
Wow.
It could be more,
Yeah.
and I would be just fine with that.
So, do you have one yet?
No.
No, because
No, I'm saving
they're
my.
still
they're,
like
they're
$3
like,
grand.
Yeah, exactly. A real one was like $1,500 on the low end.
Yeah.
But they posted one recently. It looked like it went about 50 to 75 feet. You could see the guy shooting and there was a kick when it would turn on, like, and you could tell he was like having to really hold it, and it was
an
just.
episode. That's an episode.
That would be
There's just so much you can do with a flamethrower like that. So much.
I mean, you could put the cigar in your mouth, just
Oh,
sit there, you
that
could
would be-
Facebook it live, right?
All right,
Adam.
Adam. I need you to trust me. Go exactly 62 feet away from me,
Yeah. no closer.
and no closer. Do not lean in.
You just kind of
I'll come to you.
Yeah.
and
Oh, man.
light the cigar. That would be ratings would.
Do you trust me?
Yeah.
No.
No, I do not.
Let's get one thing out in the open.
Yeah, it turns
No.
out I've known you my whole life, and the answer is no.
Yeah. I tell you what. You go 62 feet away.
Yeah, let me do it. Yeah, exactly.
Just
but
stick to the old matches.
yeah,
They're
exactly.
predictable.
Yeah. So anyway, but this is a delicious Scotch.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Bowmore 15. Sherry
Also
cask
very
finish.
drinkable. It's not, Laphroaig is offensive to some. I don't think that many people are going to be turned off by this whiskey.
No, I don't think so. It's not. I mean, it's not a Laphroaig.
No,
But it does have hints of the Laphroaig that.
Yeah.
It has a little hint of
If you
smoke.
like Laphroaig, you're gonna like this.
Yeah.
Totally.
When we get back, we're gonna possibly jump into the man gear, possibly just go straight to the topic. We're on the Lord's team,
The winning side.
so raise your glass. Hey Juan, will you turn up Joey's mic just a hair?
Just a hair. No, the first one.
first one.
First one.
Try
Just a hair.
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah, if you can talk
yeah. That way,
just right into it. The closer,
Yeah.
the better.
yep.
My beard actually touches the.
Really?
This is my microphone.
I've
done that. I've
So
caught
is this
myself
live
doing
right
that
now?
before.
It is only live on social media.
Okay, yeah.
Only everybody can see this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that we should go into this. Won't be on the radio though.
Okay. Sure.
But I think we should just go into the topic. There's just so many.
Yeah.
There's so many things that like
We could talk about a St. Michael medal, but it's like, yeah, it's the St. Michael medal.
We already did that.
Yeah, we actually already did the St. Michael medal.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said an image.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Medal.
Okay.
I think we should just jump. Let's just jump into the topic because there's questions about what angelology is in the first place.
Mhm.
So we could set it up like what is an angelologist?
Yeah, and we forgot to introduce you a bit. Are you an Are you an angelologist?
Oh no.
Or you're a demonologist?
No, I'm not.
No, you're neither of the two.
I would say I'm neither.
Okay.
I'm not an expert.
But you have studied.
I've studied it a little bit.
You have
and
read
I've
books
had some unique chances to study.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And experiences to study, but not. I would not say I'm an expert, and I'm not sure. Even there are those who can study this topic and know it inside and out as to what's there, but it's still speculative theology.
Right.
So these are creatures who are higher in the hierarchy of being than we are. So we can only know so much about them,
Right.
And
So
usually what's been revealed.
when we get back, we'll talk. Why don't you just talk about, your study? You can share as much or as little of that as you would like, and then we'll just go into, if you have something like, let's talk about the basics of angels, if you want to frame the conversation, and then we can come at you, with questions.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so
Okay, so we'll do that. We'll just kind of we'll bring you back in, let you kind of just if you want to start the convo, and then we'll kind of feed you with questions or whatever, or commentary or whatever. Is that how you want to do it, or do you want us to kind of go and then you interject and tell us we're wrong?
Whatever you're comfortable with. I'm not sure. Like if I start, I'm not sure.
And
where I would
leave
start.
leave the material heresy to me. Okay?
Yeah, all right. So if I do fall into heresy, it's not, I apologize. That's never my intention.
Of course
at all.
not.
No.
Of course not.
So let's get that clear.
Yeah.
That's why I say up front, I'm not an expert.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay,
Read a
well, you're
couple
going to fit in
books.
perfect on the Catholic Man Show then.
Yeah, right.
And we already did an episode on curiosity.
Yeah, and I do. I like Scotch.
Yes, so you're
Totally.
here.
And you guys got me to come here because I get to take this one home, right?
Sure.
You actually get two.
I
Because
I
it's
don't
not-
want to cheat, okay?
No, because it's not cool to like if you have somebody over, it's like, hey, you want to have a Scotch? I get to use this cool glass. You have to go and just use a tumbler.
right, but I have to be honest.
But I know you have one already. But what if you
That's
have?
right.
What if you have two people over?
Then I need another one.
Yeah.
So exactly.
So I do
So you
get
get
to,
two.
So this is like Christmas Laphroaig.
We
with the
order
Christmas
we
gifts.
order them
In bulk.
500 at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't feel bad that I'm
No.
like taking your
No.
glasses. I have to be honest though that I did have one. You did give me one.
I gave you one. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the reason I said yes was because I only had one, and I would sit around
So now the
drinking
truth
my
is coming
Scotch,
out.
and I would be like, I've only got one of these glasses, right? So
Right,
what if
yeah.
someone
It's
comes
like-
to my door?
It's like, dang it, or it's like
and
dirty and
that I'd have to Jack Daniels thing. It's not nearly as cool.
No.
yeah, that's what I wash
So-
my dishes with.
Jack
Right.
Daniels?
Yeah.
Boy, that's expensive.
I'm a baller.
Yeah.
I ball deep.
Okay, let's Juan, please hit play before we lose everybody.
I'll be lost quick.
Hold on.
Why did you stop it?
Well, he wasn't recording.
Well, you can hit play and then hit record whenever you or just hit record now. That's fine. There you go.
Juan has the toughest job here, doesn't he?
Yes,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
far.
so
By
he's-
far, he has the toughest job.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't me.
Juan, I appreciate you.
Welcome back to the Catholic Man Show. I'm David Niles, here with Adam Minahan and Joey Spencer, archivist
Archivist, yes.
at the Diocese of Tulsa
The
in Eastern
Diocese of
Oklahoma.
Tulsa, yeah.
Also, would you call yourself an angel aficionado?
No, I would. I don't. I want to be very hesitant. I would not call myself an expert of anything. Really.
No, but
Just-
I would say that you know more than the average bear.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm not sure. I know I've read a little bit, and
Let
I've
me-
had some opportunities to learn.
I'll
so-
tell you this, Joey. I know a lot more than the average person about angels, and you know a lot more than I do about
Well,
them. So
You're kind.
Thus,
let me just clear it up
premise
for you.
1, premise 2, conclusion.
Yeah. What do you call that? What do you call that? St. Thomas does it a lot. There's a name for it when you go two premises followed by a conclusion. I can never remember what that's called, but there's a name for that type of thing. One of our listeners knows, and they're yelling at me right
Yeah.
now. It's probably David Bates. He knows.
He's mad at us right now that we're not saying it correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about angels. We're gonna just jump into the topic.
What is an angel?
Yeah, that's a good way to start.
So an angel is it's a creature, right? It's an angel is created, right? So they are in time. The time is different than our time that we experience time, because of course the angels, we're going to die, right? And the definition of death is separation of the soul from the body, but angels don't have a body. So they are pure spirits. And so what is an angel? An angel is a pure spirit. So the term angel means messenger, right? Or malak in Hebrew, which is ambassador. So they're those who are sent by God. So God sends them on missions, and of course they do whatever God wills. St. Augustine would say that angel is what they do, pure spirit is what they are.
Interesting.
So,
That's interesting. Okay. But I mean, that makes sense, right? Because God is all about hierarchy, and so we have like plants, and we have food, or I'm sorry, we have animals, and then we have
food,
which are food. Yeah. Bacon. That's
good steak,
when we talk about food, animals, I just instantly go to bacon. Animals.
That makes sense. Logical.
And then people, and then and we have God, but there's something in between us and God, divinity, which would be angels. So there is a hierarchy there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even among the angels themselves,
There's a hierarchy.
there's a hierarchy. Okay, so
Just like among people.
yeah. So
Even families.
Pseudo Dionysius, the ecclesial hierarchy of the people, right? And the celestial hierarchy dealing with the angels. And so
yeah.
if you want to know about angels, then that's a good spot to start to look at Pseudo Dionysius.
Okay, so were the angels, and we said this between segments, but a lot of what we're going to talk about today is debated theology, or it's speculative.
It's speculative,
as you said.
So,
were the angels created prior to the world?
many theologians think that they were. So and then they participate. So if you go in Job and you read in Job, there's when God is talking to Job, and he said, "Where were you when I created, the creation of the world, right?" And when the angels were cheering as he's creating it, and some theologians think that they may have actually helped in the process of it. So yeah, they would be created. I mean, they were the first thing many theologians think that were created, and when they were created, then time starts, right? And then they're given immediately off the bat, they're given the choice. Do you choose God? Do you go with God? Or do you choose to rebel and go against God?
Yeah.
Of course, and then you have the fall. So that's the demons. Those who choose God immediately are brought into the beatific vision, and then
So they did not
participate
have the
along with God's
beatific
will.
vision prior to their judgment?
No.
Because there's almost
To the
instant.
theologians. I mean, but it's so instant.
It's instant,
fast.
right? It's
Right.
like they had the free will to choose, and then instantly, once that happened, it was like,
Sure.
you're there, free will, boom.
Yeah, and it's like that,
Right.
but probably even faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably even faster.
We slow it down. a little
Right.
bit,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because I always thought, how stupid do you have to be an angel to know so much? And you don't have the temptations that we do. And I'm sure they have temptations of their own, I suspect. Otherwise, they wouldn't have fallen, I guess. But, it's like, there you are with God, and you're like, yeah, God, it looks pretty pimp up here. I'm going to go to hell. You know what? I'll take hell. Send me there.
It was probably a lot like that.
You got to be,
David.
it's like it's like, I think
Like,
that all the
oh my
demons,
God.
all the
I
demons.
think that was in the second part of the Summa, right?
Right.
Didn't you just quote that? Is that it?
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was-
Once
that's
again,
that's a direct
if I
quote.
fall into material heresy, I don't intend to.
Well, you know what I mean? I've often thought that the demons in all the demons in hell, they've got to be the stupidest things of all creation.
Well,
A lot of humans go to
they're
hell.
not stupid. I mean,
Well,
they're super smart.
because they're actually
I know that they're very smart, but
But-
if you choose hell, how smart are you really?
right. They chose not to be what they were created to be.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a dumb thing to do.
So yeah, it was
Epically dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk really fast about angels in the Bible. So we know at least 3 archangels by name in the Bible. And a lot of people ask, are angels even in the Bible? And and it's like, well, yes.
Totally. Who do you think came to Mary? And
right.
yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that we can know about angels comes directly from the Bible.
Sure.
So I guess that's a T-ball question for you, or a softball question. Is it biblical? Are angels biblical? How do we know?
Yeah, sure, of course. If we take, what are angels? Angels are pure spirits, right? So every time you have a spirit going in the Old Testament, or even a son of God, when you hear the term son of God, right, they're referring to an angel, right, so as pure spirit. So this is why there's some confusion in the New Testament with this being batted around, son of God, a son of God versus the son of God, right? So what's he's going around doing these miracles. Well, if he's a son of God, angels by their nature, right, can do things that would seem very miraculous, right? And that's just by their nature. So yeah, they're all the way through it. You have the three men who come and visit Abraham, right?
Right.
You've got the angels that destroy Sodom and Gomorrah too. Angels there that do that, right? You've got Gabriel, who's coming to Mary, the Annunciation. You've got
I know
Raphael,
that I was going to say
Tobias.
I know that they're not very good wrestlers. That's one thing I do know about angels.
They let him win.
This whole body thing is new to me.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure out the levers, I think.
Yeah.
But so it is biblical. It is biblical.
Yeah. It's all through the scripture.
Yeah.
Right?
St. Michael's.
Michael's there too.
I've heard people ask that question about angels, and it's like, have you even read the Bible?
Yeah.
They're there,
Right.
and they're pretty obvious. They're very, in fact, I think prominent. Then get to Revelation. Okay.
Right.
Loads of angels.
Yeah. Myriads upon myriads.
Yeah. So it's okay. I feel like we've safely answered that question. Yes.
Yeah, they're there. So, and it's, you can do a Google search and that's going to pop up easy, angels in scripture.
Yeah.
And so
it's
lots of places.
When you're trying to figure out what a thing is, or, what was the, philosophy, we often ask the question, what is a thing for? So then we can know what it is, or vice versa. What were the angels created for?
For the glory of God, right? So, and
to worship God.
And what do they do?
Were they created for the same purpose as humanity?
No, they're different creatures.
Sure.
And in fact, each angel is, we tend to group them in hierarchies and choirs, right? So there's the 9 choirs that come down to us from Pseudo Dionysius as well, who I mentioned, and then others, St. Gregory the Great. And you look at these different hierarchies, right? And I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
The purpose, are they created for the same reason?
Oh, yeah, for the same reason.
Yeah.
So each choir, we look at it and we say, these are the seraphim, right? But each seraphim, we call them the seraphim, right? But yet each seraphim is a distinct species from every other
right.
seraphim.
So they're like so distinct compared to from a pig to a grasshopper.
Right.
That's how big of a difference it is for each individual angel themselves. Is that correct?
It's not like
that's an analogy.
All lions are. If you've seen one lion, you've seen
them all. Right.
Similar to us, my soul is unlike any other soul. So even though our bodies might be largely similar, my soul, is like a fingerprint. It's different from Adam's soul. It's different from your soul. It might share similar characteristics, but it's not the same.
You agree?
Well, but we're all the same species.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
So we're all human beings,
right?
And so
I see.
And so you can't lump angels into that. Each
Fascinating.
angel is like
its own species.
Right.
Gotcha. So it's even more.
So it's even more distinct.
Yes. Now, do they share in a nature, right? The angelic nature. They do. And so what you can say about one angel being a pure spirit all angels are pure spirits.
There it is.
But yet, for what each angel was created for a particular thing or for a particular reason. So in that is its own species.
Okay, when we get back, we're here with Joey Spencer from the Diocese of Tulsa in Eastern Oklahoma. I'm Adam Minham with David Niles. We'll be right back. We're on the Lord's team.
The winning side.
So raise your glass.
You say raise your glass, you didn't raise it, Adam.
I'm sorry.
Joey did.
Also,
Raise the glass,
he did.
Adam.
Turn Joey's mic up just a little bit more.
And actually, Joey, I'm going to move your mic
Yeah.
right here.
Because
See
you keep
him.
looking at us, and whenever
Yeah.
you look, it's a
Go away from
dynamic.
the mic.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
To get used to
Especially when you get excited.
planting
Or
your
at least
your
that's
face.
me, at least. I get
right
excited
here.
and I start moving around.
Doing some head, you know.
For like the first, I don't know, 75 episodes, I was standing the whole time.
Yeah.
I stood the whole time.
You started standing anyway at some point.
Yeah. I got excited because I like to move around.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to make sure we cover the choirs of angels and the purposes of each choir of angels.
In as much as we know
in
them.
as much as we know them. Is that a good place? Can we go there? No?
We
yes?
can't. Well, we can cover the choirs.
Okay.
Like each specific what they do. I can tell you kind of what some of the medieval theologians, basically the realm in which they were active in, according to some of the medieval theologians.
Okay.
So, do that now. I mean,
Well, no, when
'cause
we
we're
get
like,
back.
oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
well, because we'll do with because Saint Gregory kind of like started putting this all together, right? And then Saint Thomas Aquinas took that and said, okay, and kind of put it even further, right?
Thomas is really pseudo Dionysius is who Thomas is really going to mostly.
Okay.
And so that's why I say the celestial hierarchy is a good place to start if you want to study angels.
Okay.
So
Okay. So, what else do we want to make sure to cut? Like, because we only have 24 minutes left, so let's figure out how exactly we want to make sure we don't want to leave something out that because we want to talk about a little bit about guardian angels.
Yeah, ultimately, I want to make it practical. So if we can talk about how, your guardian angel, how they relate to our spiritual, how can we grow spiritually from having a guardian, like we should pray to our guardian angel.
Yeah, how do
we should have a relationship with them.
How do you have a relationship with them? That's a question I think we should ask on the show. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And then we can maybe hopefully list at least the choirs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have to get in too much into like the choirs and what they do,
but it's at least give them at least something to where they can go and start learning a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Possibly, if they want to.
Yeah. Just so that they know,
There are choirs.
they're different angels. They do different things. Okay.
Anything else? You good with
you
whatever?
guys want. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. This is the third one. Okay.
Si, senor.
C. Welcome back to the Catholic Man Show. Drinking a little bit of Bowmore 15-year Darkest. It's a delicious. It's the Laphroaig Christmas edition. Is it? Wait,
Christmas Laphroaig.
Christmas Laphroaig.
Laphroaig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tasty.
I'm sure Bowmore hates that.
Yeah, they would not like. They would not like that. But
Let's be
I gotta
honest.
be sending you free bottles.
Right. Yeah. Like,
Thank you for
now don't
having
call us
on the man
Laphroaig,
show.
okay?
yeah. We're here. We're here with Joey Spencer. He's the
Archivist.
archivist. Thank
Diocese
you.
of
Yeah.
Tulsa.
I kept wanting to say archetype, and I was like, nope, that is not correct.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Type for Santa Claus. Chubby and with a white beard. Jolly sometimes.
So we're talking about angels. Do we want to get into guardian angels? I think hierarchy.
Okay. There's a hierarchy of angels.
There's a hierarchy of angels. And so there's 3 hierarchies, right? Within the 3 hierarchies, there are 3 choirs. And so those closest to God would be the seraphim, the cherubim, and the thrones, right?
Cherubim. So some people say cherubim.
It's cherubims proper.
Okay.
But,
Okay. Right.
It's,
So now all of our listeners
Cherubs.
can yes.
Cherubs. Cherubs.
It's like now you can say it right. And then,
But no, you know, nobody's gonna, beat you up if you don't use the proper angelic
I might.
term.
I might. Now I might.
I wouldn't.
Now that I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
I'll at least be.
If I wasn't on this show, I wouldn't even.
I'll at least be
say
smug to you.
different.
It's like you don't even know the word.
They're the little chubby little.
Yeah, the
babies
cute
with
ones,
wings,
yeah.
Right?
Oh man,
They're so cute.
they're gonna.
Yeah,
We're gonna get up there and they'll be like, they're gonna slap us around and be like,
yeah.
"That's how you want to make us look."
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
we're gonna get to heaven and be like, "Whoa, you guys are fierce.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're drawing you like babies down there. I don't know if you know that."
Yeah. Okay, so there's the first hierarchy.
So the first hierarchy, right? So which is in proximity to God. See, they're pure spirits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't even explain. I mean, angelology gets kind of difficult because we always want to say things like when they're looking down on us.
Right.
Well, they're not looking down on us. They don't have eyes. They're pure spirits.
Right.
And we always get caught up in space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? Well,
Yeah.
you're here and you're there, and Juan's over there doing the hard work while we're over here playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't think of pure spirit without trying to put it in space because we're sensible creatures, right? And that's how we know where things are.
Mm-hmm.
And so that first hierarchy, right? The seraphim, cherubim, thrones. And then there's the second hierarchy, right? Which is the virtues, powers, and dominations, right? And then there's the third hierarchy, which is the ones that you're going to see interacting with us the most in Scripture. So these are the principalities, the archangels, and the angels. And so, and that's kind of how the medieval theologians would kind of understand them. They're those who are, in the way they understood the world, right? There are those who are closest to God, who are doing things up there. There are those in taking care of the middle areas between heaven and earth, right? And then there are those who are actually active on earth. So the angels being our guardian angels, and then,
And so that's the difference.
principalities,
Their proximity to God, essentially, in
Proximity to
heaven.
God,
I mean, once
yeah.
again, I know that's using a physical
Right,
space
right.
term, but in some ways, that first hierarchy is closer
Which
to
is why they
God.
burn, right? I mean, that's
the burning ones.
The burning
seraphim
ones.
are the closest, and they're the burning ones.
And so
right?
all they do is sit there and sing
yeah,
all-
holy, holy, holy,
all the
Yeah.
time.
right? And
It's got to be.
in
That's
the
a sweet
Mass.
gig.
When-
That
when-
is a sweet gig.
Yeah, and when we're in the Mass, we're doing the same thing, right? Because
We're joining
we're
them.
joining them, right?
It's not like we're starting and they're coming in with us. We're actually joining them because they're doing it
Yeah.
forever for all
Constantly.
eternity.
I say that
Mass is outside of time, right?
Right.
So we're
Mhm,
entering
yeah.
into that
That realm.
right?
I say they've got a sweet gig, but they probably look at us going receiving communion, and they think, "Oh man, that is a sweet gig."
I don't know. I mean, they're in front of the beatific
Right.
vision.
Yeah, but they do not get to receive communion.
Right.
I mean, the gift that we have is.
I'm not downplaying that.
Yeah.
Well, Christ is fully human, fully divine,
Yeah.
and so he didn't become an angel. And the fact that that God Himself became man.
Mhm.
I mean, we're getting ready to go into Christmas, the incarnation. What an amazing thing!
Big time.
Okay, that brings up something that I don't want to spend a lot of time, but we have to touch on this. When we die, we don't become angels.
No, we don't.
I mean, people think that
We become like the angels. Isn't that what
in
Jesus says?
And the fact, I guess, that we're spiritual. Well, I mean, then the resurrection of the body. I don't know. I'll let you.
Doesn't
Well, when
Jesus say
if
that?
If we are blessed enough to, make it to purgatory,
Yeah.
get out of purgatory and receive the beatific vision, then we are also in the same beatific. The angels are there as well,
Right.
So we join the choirs of angels in that beatific vision.
Okay, so I want to ask you about that.
In medieval art, you'll see a lot of times. You'll see like Christ sitting on a throne, and you go to Europe and see it in the medieval art all the time. And there are these rows of people sitting there, and some of them are angels and some of them are the saints. So that's a kind of a good analogy of like,
I like that.
if we make it to heaven, God willing, right?
And so our reward in heaven will be perfectly just based on our life. Okay, so we'll be rewarded in heaven. We will not all receive the same. All those who go to heaven do not all receive the same reward. Just like there's a hierarchy among the angels, we will be placed among a hierarchy.
And and I guess that there would be as many hierarchies as there are people in heaven, right? Because I would imagine, like, let's just say Dave and I had died in the state of grace. We filled up our grace bucket, if you will, and we both have the same amount, equal amount. That it still doesn't mean that we're going to be in the exact same spot.
Right. Well, there's that problem of being, or not a problem, but that being tied to a body.
Yeah.
Right. We're always trying to put it like,
I'm taller than you, so I'll probably be closer.
What will the beatific vision be for you, and what will it be for me? Will it be something different?
Well, right.
But will it be enough for you, and will it be enough for me?
Uh-huh.
It will be everything.
It will be everything.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But when the angels fell, they left spaces.
You're spacing it again. They're pure spirits.
Okay, well,
there's void.
There was a place. They had a place.
See how it gets tricky?
Yeah.
Among the choir of angels, they were supposed to be doing something.
Yeah. So that's the analogy: is that saints would then fill those spaces.
Okay, so certain saints, because
but
traditionally
they don't become angels.
No,
right.
No, certainly not. But they would take that rank or that reward that was intended for the angels who fell.
Right.
And God saw it fit to give that reward to one of the saints.
Sure.
Typically, that would be canonized saints, or I guess it didn't have to be canonized saints. It could be anybody.
It could be canonized.
God's tricky like that.
Saints.
You never know.
It'd be interesting to see where St. Thomas
But
Aquinas
what is
falls.
a saint? A saint is
Right.
someone that we say we know for sure is in heaven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So canonized or those we don't know. Are there saints that we don't know about in heaven? Well, sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, think about any baptized child who dies before, the age of reason.
Sure.
It's hard to
Yeah.
logically
and
work out
so,
how they're not there.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't have enough time. I want to devote the last segment to specifically guardian angels. But so angels, let's talk about their will, because it's like they instantaneously know like everything. It's not like that they learn different things and like they completely exhaust everything that they know about a specific topic immediately. Correct?
Well, they know everything as it is by nature, right? So when they were created, they had a natural understanding as it is and created in nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what they didn't have was how that fit with the beatific vision. And so when they were first created, they were given this, look, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
And when they chose and received the beatific vision, then they would then see how everything fit perfectly in place in relation to God. And of course, aligning their will with God and then receiving that beatific. Once they receive the beatific vision, their will is always going to be aligned with God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But when we say it, for instance, like, okay, the cherubim the seraphim are in one place and they could possibly come down on earth, but it's not like that again, we're trying to talk about a body or location, but it's like, it's not that they fly. The only reason why they have, we're depicted with wings, right, is because they just will being somewhere.
They move
correct?
at the speed of thought.
Well, the wings, there's scripture too. So the creature with the wings.
Right.
And so I don't think it quite looks exactly like
how we depict it
in art.
Right.
Certainly not the Victorian cherubim.
Right.
The little fat babies, but
right. But it's because it's their will that like they can go from one place to another. If that's, I know that's tough terminology.
So
right.
They are where they are acting.
Okay, that's what I was trying to. That's where I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
And they act where they think about, because they're just intellect. I mean, spirit.
But and probably where they're sent
by God.
Correct.
Right. Because their will is aligned with God's will. If it's a good angel.
Yeah.
Okay. About guardian angels. One thing that I heard is like, send your guardian angel to protect this person.
You can ask, but it's always the will of God. Right?
And is that trivial? Like, I kind of thought, they're going to go with you. They're going to follow you here. They don't have to just leave. It's not like, I'm going to leave Joey. He asked me to go follow this, be with this person for a while, so I'm going to leave him behind. Like, they don't have to do that. They can, because they're not in a place, they can do both at the same time.
But they are in action, right? So they act.
Yeah.
Okay, and so where they act saint is where we would say is where they are.
Okay.
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 Okay. So can they? Yes or no? Can they bilocate?
No.
No. Okay.
Not according to Thomas. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
We're on the Lord's team.
The winning side.
So raise your glass.
Nice.
If I understand Thomas correctly, no, they cannot
Okay.
bilocate. That means that there would be one thing in two places.
Right.
And so in bilocation, especially like with the saints, I'm not sure I've ever read how that occurs, right? So there's story in St. Augustine, right? And St. Augustine is on an exorcism. And the demoniac screams out, it's Ambrose, right? St. Ambrose, right? And they're nowhere near Milan, nowhere near St. Ambrose. And he actually asks St. Ambrose, hey, I witnessed this. Were you there? And Ambrose is like, no, I was here in Milan doing my thing here.
Holy stuff over here.
Yeah. And so he gets in a debate, and if you want to look at it, this is St. Augustine, and he's writing to another bishop, Paulina of Nola, I think is who he's writing to, and it's on the question of being buried near saints, on being close to the dead saints, like in burial, and it's a fascinating story. And he questions, well, is this Ambrose's guardian angel that's acting in this?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you before, because I have another question I want to ask you about. Can you send your guardian angel to go worship in adoration without you being there? Could you say like allow your guardian angel
Like a prayer hack, like
Yeah.
go to adoration.
For me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
No,
that.
well,
I
they're
don't think
already
that
in
would
the
be
presence of God.
Right. Exactly. That's what I
Right.
was gonna-
Okay.
So
So-
the beatific vision.
And this is also part of my question, is that Jesus, he talks about the little ones whose angels are always before God.
God's
You know,
face.
it's kind of,
right.
it's like it implies angels, they're up, they're up there worshiping God. They don't come it's not like they come down here to act. Thomas obviously says that they do, and so I believe him. But it implies
can-
like,
Well, no, okay, this is speculative, right?
Right.
This is speculative, and this is, I don't want, if I'm wrong, because you're asking a question, and I'm just going to take
difficult question.
It's a difficult
Yes.
question, and I'm going to take a stab at it based upon what I know. Where is the beatific vision? Is God in one spot? God is not. It's not. He's not in
Yeah.
one spot. I mean,
It's not like there's
He
this big
is
old
in
ball
all of
of
his
beatific
creation.
vision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
where we can only be at one place at one time, that doesn't hold for God. So if they always are in the presence of God,
Yeah, his
It's like a part
presence.
of the universe.
His presence manifests differently. It's obviously more. I would say he's more present in the Eucharist than he is in this table.
well, we put a human limitation on God.
Yes.
If we
I do
say
that
that
all
they
the
have to
time.
go here to be in His presence, and then they have to act over here, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's where that, for us, that would be, if we're going to go visit a friend over here and then do something here, we can't be in the presence of this friend who's 2 states away and then be in the presence of a friend
Gotcha.
who's right next door, right?
So would you say it's analogous to a state of grace? Possessing the beatific vision. Would it be similar to?
Well, grace is how we come closer to God, right? It's through grace. So sanctifying grace in the sacraments, through the sacraments, we come closer to God. But angels, once again, they have the beatific vision. They're already
Right.
there, So
So it's
I don't know if they are receiving grace. They're in the presence of God, who is grace, right? So
okay.
they possess it in being in that beatific vision, I would think.
Okay, so I've also heard that, and I may re-ask this on the episode, I don't know yet, but I've also heard that you can ask your guardian angel to talk to another person's guardian angel.
I've also heard this.
To say hey, I'm about to go in, I'm about to close a deal or a business deal,
Or have a very difficult conversation
with somebody, like a conflict, and it's like, guardian angel, will you go talk to his guardian angel so that way you can help his state of mind to be open to receiving whatever it is?
Put in a good word for me. And I have done this, and with positive results. I mean,
but
like,
is that something that
I don't want to base
Yeah, I
theology
would say yes.
on that.
Yeah.
but-
Don't we ask the saints to help us and to intercede for us?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And so, our conversations with our guardian angels, I would imagine, would be much with the conversations that we have with saints, and asking them to intercede for us and to help us. And so, I do it. I ask. I know that when I go into a difficult situation or meeting, sometimes I will ask that if it be the will of God. Right.
Yeah, that's the key, right?
Right. Ask if it's the will of God, would He allow my guardian angel to go to this person or this?
But isn't
other
that
person's
understood?
guardian
Like,
angel?
if you ask the guardian angel to do that, isn't that understood that it would only be the will of God? Because it's not like the guardian angel would do something that directly, like, is opposed to the will of God. The guardian angel can only do exactly what God wills him to do.
Absolutely, and because His will is going to be aligned with
with
God's
it,
will.
right?
Right,
Exactly.
yeah.
So He's
it's
not going to do
gonna be
anything that God
opposed.
doesn't. Yeah.
I have a
You can't
universal
ask him
prayer
to-
clause in my contract with God that, if I ever ask anything, it's under the assumption that it is, of course,
Yeah, I'm not.
His will.
I'm not talking to you about like clauses and things like that.
It didn't work out for
My
you last
contract. Yeah, there's some gaps in my contract. Right here, I think.
There's not
There's
even
no
any
real
green
contract.
M&Ms. Where were the green
Yeah,
M&Ms?
where's the green M&Ms? It's supposed to be green M&Ms, Mr. Niles.
time. Okay, I think we should. I think we should record. I think we should go. I think we
Do
should
it.
dedicate the last 12 minutes to guardian angels.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good?
Yeah.
You good with that?
Make it so. Juan, you have to push the button. We're all looking at you now.
You are the person.
Juan, you're in control.
Don't name them.
Yeah, let's mention that. We
What?
should mention that don't name your guardian angel. There's a lot of people out there who are doing that, and
Yeah.
it's a public service. The church has said not to do it.
There is a document on popular piety in the church, and it does say do not name your guardian
Okay,
angels.
that's enough. Then we'll say it
Yeah.
because
We don't know the name.
right.
Right.
In fact, we only know the name. It's only been revealed the three, right?
Right.
Raphael, Michael, Gabriel.
Not your URL or whatever.
It's not there. Not in the accepted scripture, right? Not in the canon.
Welcome back to the Catholic Man Show. I'm David Niles, here with Adam Minahan and Joey Spencer, the guy I know who knows the most about angels.
No.
You are the guy I know who knows the most about angels. Totally. I don't know. At least,
Have you ever heard of Thomas Aquinas?
look,
He knows way more.
He knows.
Yeah, but
he knows way more than. No, that's not a slight to you. That's just
No,
a prop
he's
to
the
Thomas Aquinas.
No, I-
angelic
that's him.
doctor.
Right. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, but he's busy.
We still haven't been able to book him.
Yeah. His agent is still working on getting back with me. Okay.
Yeah. It's the green M&Ms.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about guardian angels this segment.
Sure.
I think that it's important to make sure that everybody knows that they have guardian angels. Let's talk about
True or
that.
false? Everyone has a guardian angel.
True.
Even people who are not baptized.
True.
And thank you for listening to the Catholic Man Show. We're on the
I was like, that's it. Wow. That's quick.
okay, but yeah, everybody that like my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but at the moment of their the moment of their creation, they willed yes or no to be a guardian angel of a specific person.
They willed to do what? To align their will with God's. They
Right.
chose God, right? And
But didn't they know that I'm going to be this person's guardian angel?
That's
But
I've never
speculative?
heard. Yeah,
Okay.
you're
But it
getting
seems like they
speculative.
wouldn't have
You would-
chosen
they
it,
would
but God
probably
would have
know.
said, hey,
Hey,
here's the person.
You're going to have this person.
Will you serve? I mean,
Or simply you're going to be a guardian angel.
right.
Yeah.
I've also heard that guardian angels go to purgatory with their person.
That's actually
Really?
yeah. That's actually what I've read and what I've studied is that they continue to minister to you. Through
They love you
purgatory.
so much that they go to purgatory with you.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
they're not experiencing purgatory in the
No.
same way that you are.
No.
Right.
But they're there and they're ministering to you
Mhm.
in purgatory, just as the angels ministered to Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane.
My understanding was the only people that can help you once you're in this state of purgatory are the church militant. Again,
What I've read about angels.
yeah, I concede to what you say
Yeah.
because you know way more than I do.
So you
I'm just
can't
saying-
ask the saints to pray for those in purgatory?
I don't know. This is something I'm not well versed
You might
in.
even in that situation, you might be the efficient cause of the
Certainly,
of the prayer.
certainly we're called to pray for those in purgatory.
Right.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay.
But
okay.
but that they minister to them in purgatory, or that they're there along with them, supporting them through purgatory.
So we all have a guardian angel. Should one name their guardian angel?
No, and once again, there was a church document that came out, and I don't remember what dicastery it came from, but it was on popular piety in the church, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And in it mentions that you shouldn't name your guardian angel.
And why is that?
Well, one, you don't know the name, right? Mm-hmm. And so two, if you start calling something by a name, there's always the possibility that something else may answer to that name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if that's not the angel's name, then you should respect that. Now, I know a lot of really good priests who have named their angels, and there was a time period when people were told to name their angels,
mm-hmm.
right? And so, like with a lot of the priests that I talk with and know, it's a mixed bag. Yeah. But the church document, I just say go with the church document. Church document says
safe
no.
Bet right there.
Safe bet.
And stay with the magisterial teaching.
So if people were being told to do it at one time, that's a little different. I mean, it's like almost like you're doing it out of obedience,
right?
You know,
if you're doing it, I would certainly make sure that you ask God to, Lord, I'm trying to create a relationship with my angel. I like calling the angel this. Would you allow me that to be that when I say this name,
and if you do it, at least understand it's just a nickname. You don't have authority to name the angel. It's different from when God presented the animals to Adam at the beginning of creation, because he gave us authority over which we do not have over the angels. Exactly.
Right.
So
is guardian angels recycled? Like once I have a guardian angel, once I die, guardian angel whoever my guardian angel doesn't go to the next person.
Well, once again, speculative, but I would say no, because all the angels were created at one time in the beginning. Right. It's not like there's new angels.
So I don't have Padre Pio's guardian angel.
No, but could you ask for Padre Pio's guardian angel to intercede for you? Maybe.
Ooh, hey, that would be epic.
Padre Pio, guardian angel. Could you have a special fondness for me?
But you be careful with that. You have your own guardian angel, and that is sufficient. And God has given you God has given you this particular angel to look and watch over you, and to help you along that journey back to God.
Okay, so how do we cultivate the relationship with our guardian angel? Like, what do we do? How do we? Because the more the deeper relationship we have with our guardian angel, the more disposed we are to allow ourselves to be submitted underneath the guardian angel's will, which would be in line with God's will,
right?
So how do we do that?
The same way we do it with the saints. When we ask the saints to pray for us, to intercede for us, I would pray to the guardian angels the same way.
Okay, so
and always that God's will be done, because if you're aligning what you ask with God's will, and their will is aligned with God's will, it's all going to be good.
Yeah. So is there another prayer that you pray to your guardian, my angel God, my guardian dear, that prayer that all the little kids grew up saying, and you say because you learned it as a little kid? Is there another prayer that you pray specifically, or?
Well, the Saint Michael prayer, of course, and then but mostly. So I'm a convert, so I have Protestant roots. I'm the only Catholic in my family. The rest of my family are all wonderful Christians, First Christian Church, and so I grew up with that Protestant. I'm just gonna go. I'm talking to him, like my guardian angel. I'm talking to him like I'd talk to you sitting here next to me, Adam.
Okay.
But with the understanding this is a guardian angel, and he's not gonna do what I want him to do. He's gonna do what God wills him to do. And so when I talk to him, I'm not asking him, I hope this lottery ticket's the big winner. That's not how it works, right?
Right.
Because that's putting a material good above a spiritual good. But I know that guardian angel is watching over me at the spiritual level.
Right.
Right? And can, in fact, intercede at the physical level. I mean, of course they can interact.
Mhm.
Right?
There is in the handbook of indulgences, there is a prayer for guardian angels that you receive a partial indulgence for. It's angel of God sent to guide me, be my light and walk beside me, be my guardian and protect me, and through the paths of life direct me.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so in between the breaks, we were talking about, can we send our guardian angel to talk to another guardian angel? And when we say talk, I mean, this is all in human language.
Communicate. They communicate.
Communicate. Yeah. Okay. So I'm walking into a tough conversation with another person that I know is not going to be an easy conversation.
Right.
But it would be nice to have his will, like, or him being open to receiving this conversation. Can I say, guardian angel, will you help him through this conversation? Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Can you do that?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, there are stories of the saints who have done that before they give a talk. I'm forgetting the name of the saint that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, but before he would ever give like a retreat or lectures or anything like that, he would always pray that if it be the will of God, that his guardian angel go to the guardian angels of those who he was talking to, and ask that they would then help that individual that they were guardian over to be open to what God wanted them to hear. And that the angel, his guardian angel, would inspire him to say what God wanted him to say so that they would hear. And so it, very much like the intercession of the saints.
Yeah.
You know, it's so yeah.
So it seems like God has given our guardian angels a special authority over us. You know, it's a unique relationship that they have. You know, in order to guard us, they have to be able to have some type of authority.
Oh,
so
sure.
They would have maybe the ability to affect our dispositions towards.
They can affect our dispositions. It's by nature, angels can influence the lower faculties, put an idea into our head, right? And so they can influence it, but demons act the same way. It's the angelic nature,
way they tempt
right?
us,
They can tempt us in the same way. So you're sitting there and you're in the middle of mass, and all of a sudden this thought that you're like, most of the time when something like that comes, you'll recognize it because you can't figure out how it got there. And it's just like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? Right? Well, I was not. Usually when we get into talking temptations now about the fallen angels, usually when we get into a situation where we fall into sin, right? We can track back where it started.
A line of thought, yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So you're sitting on the beach.
And it starts
like-
somewhere innocent.
Yeah,
You know?
This leads to this.
Yes, and you can always follow back, but when it just kind of comes out of nowhere, right, and it affects, and it's boom, it's there in your imagination. You're like, where did this come from? Simply turn to God. You know what happens when the devil rears its ugly head to Christ? He always turns it on him, and he goes right back to God. Right. And while we're talking about temptation, because it's easier to see temptation sometimes because we fall into it all the time.
Right. Yeah.
We're good sinners. Right.
Dave's
And,
really good.
yeah, it's the qualification for being in the church. We're good sinners.
Right.
We need Christ. But yeah, and what'll happen is the temptation will usually start at a low level, at the material level, and then it'll work its way up. Right? Turn this rock into bread, a material outside the body. Throw yourself off this. There's
This
visible,
right?
And then you can have everything. You can be God.
All right. Well, we've been drinking Bowmore, 15-year.
Joey, thanks so much for being with us.
Talking
We're gonna
about angels.
continue the conversation for a few more minutes. Subscribe to our podcast. We're on the Lord's team.
The winning side.
So raise your glass.
And cheers to Jesus.
Dude, that was a weak cheers to Jesus.
You know,
can you not, like...
Cheers to Jesus.
No. Do it again. That was funny. Okay. So, Juan, if you will, just hit, record on the Cubase.
Okay, just outside of.
Yeah, outside of that.
Kathy Nunick, she asked where you can find that prayer that I said. It's in the Handbook of Indulgences.
Tell them to look at the.
which is a great book. Everyone should get that book. It's super cool to have.
Tell them to look at the Byzantine prayer for guardian angels.
There's a Byzantine prayer for
It's
guardian angels.
Way better than ours.
I'll bet it's super long.
And you have to sing it.
It is way better. Look it up and you'll see.
Okay. Okay, Juan, if you'll hit record again, please. Okay, Joey. So we were just talking about, well, we were talking about a lot of things, but you were talking about,
So many things.
yeah. There's a lot of things about guardian angels that we had questions and comments on. But you were talking about how you can't tempt, right? Temptation. You can't say, like, you were talking about the line of thought of temptation, and how you can't turn this stone into bread, and you can't jump off the cliff.
Yeah,
and
that's if you look, this is the way like a temptation works, right? So an angel, right, a good angel or a fallen angel, a demon, you have free will, right? They even when you said that our good angels, our guardian angels, have authority over us, they won't affect our will. Now, can they influence?
Can they feel the
Right.
movements of our will? Like, can they tell?
I would say yes.
Can they tell how much
because,
we're resisting their idea that they?
Well, sure. In the way that they can look at you and they know how a human acts better than I can look at. Like I can look at you and I can say, oh, "Wow, you look really tired," and
Yeah.
and you're
or
down,
even,
or you're upset, or you're happy,
more,
right?
even deeper than that, right,
Even
Joey? Because
more.
like we've learned, like if somebody's lying, their body temperature goes up,
Right,
and like
right.
obviously angels can see that, so
yeah, they can
could,
like see the heat.
Not
on
with
your,
their eyes. They don't
Yeah,
have
well,
eyes.
I mean, yeah,
They can
right.
sense it.
They can
They know it.
They know it.
They know it.
They know.
Their
yeah,
will.
okay,
They
yeah.
they will it, or I don't know. They don't will it, but they know it. So
what angels do not know what's called cardionosis, right? The knowledge of the heart. They can't know the knowledge of the heart, right? And so they can't tell the future.
They can't
right?
read
They
your
can't
thoughts,
read your
but they
thoughts
can
and
predict
can't
what
read
you're
your
thinking
mind.
pretty well, maybe.
they can see a
Really
train.
well.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can see
Really
this
well.
line of okay.
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, and they know from past experience.
Sort of like your 3-year-old. You know exactly what
Yeah.
they have, that look on their face,
Yeah.
like when they see, or you can just sometimes tell.
Like
I
You know
know
what they're gonna do.
they're
exactly
gonna do
what you're
this,
about to
do
say.
this. Or even like you allow them to get in trouble, for like purposes of like understanding like you can't do this. Like
Right.
you know they're gonna go over there, then they're gonna put their finger close to that socket, and like you have to
grab
get
the cat's tail and give it again.
Yeah, I
mean,
it's all-
I mean,
It's so easy to trick a 3-year-old, and I think that's probably how they feel
about us.
sometimes.
right. Well,
But you can teach your 3-year-old not to be tricked by the same thing again. You know what I mean?
yeah, but we're not good learners.
Neither are 3-year-olds.
Yeah. So I
Actually, they
bet you
are.
guys confess the same sins over and over again. I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're just not good learners. But what if you look at Scripture, right? Look at the garden. Look at Genesis 3. How does he twist it? How does the temptation occur? It's something material. So
Yeah.
there's this hierarchy, right? Material, physical, spiritual,
Spiritual.
and they're looking to get you at the spiritual, but most of the time they're not going to start there, because just like I said, when you're sitting there in mass and this strange thought just comes into your head, that shocks you and you're like, where did that come from, right? All right, and they're showing their hand right off the bat, and you redirect your mind, you start praying, you focus, get back to the mass, right?
Yeah.
And you don't think about, put that out of your mind and refocus on Christ. When they do that, it's just they're giving away their hand, right? What they want to do is get you the temptation to sneak up on you, right? To work slowly. So what did God say about that tree out there, right? And that fruit, right? But the fruit is good for your body. Eve saw that the tree was
Sin
appealing,
looks good.
and she knew, okay, so the material out there, it looks good. And then she takes the fruit, and she knows that it will be nourishing to her body, right?
Yeah.
It talks about that. And then she eats it, and then
Well, the first mistake that
she's
Eve
at the
made
spiritual level, right?
Was
And then
even-
she falls
was that
into
she
sin.
even
Entertained the
that she even spoke to
she's
the
talking
devil.
to the
Right.
snake, right?
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is lower on the hierarchy.
When he says, "Is it really true that God said you shouldn't
Should
eat
just
from
completely
any of the
not entertain
any
that.
of the
Yeah,
trees?"
yeah.
She should have just looked at him and just totally ignored him, which is
Kinda like-
what we should do too.
Like even when we read about the saints, like they wake up in the middle of the night and the devil has been attacking, and they just look at them, oh, it's you, and they roll back over in bed. Like, I'm not even going to entertain messing with you. Like, I'm just going, like, I'm not even giving you that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well, look at that story. Look at that whole story is on Genesis 3. You could spend your lifetime just studying Genesis 3, right?
JP2 did.
It's amazing. And what is it? So they're created for who? In the likeness of who? They're created for God,
Yeah.
right? That
Right.
should be the object of their desire. And everything that they do in that garden should then redirect them back to God. They should focus them on glorifying of God. Well, what happens is, and Ephraim talks about this, there's a serpent, right? In that whole hierarchy of being, where's the serpent? It's in the animal realm, right? Below the humans. And all of a sudden, this serpent, she's listening to a serpent, which is then kind of undermining her understanding of herself and her relationship to God, right? This whole thing. So then what is it that he uses as the trick? Where's the turn? It's the fruit of the tree. Okay. So he turns her object away from God to what?
physical.
Material.
This material tree, right? And so after she eats the fruit, after they eat the fruit, Adam and Eve eat the fruit, where are they? They recognize that they're naked,
Right.
and they dress themselves in fig leaves.
Yeah.
And where are they hiding?
In the garden. Behind
Among the
bushes.
trees.
Yeah.
They're among the trees, right? And so what happens here is they've changed their object of their desire to the fruit of a tree. Boom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they are no longer like God.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the tree. They're living among the trees, dressing in
Wow.
the leaves.
And the great irony
Right?
is that the knowledge of the fruit of the tree of knowledge and evil, of good and evil, was right next to the tree of life in the garden.
Yeah. Well, look.
They're both right there. And they could eat from the tree of life if they wanted to.
Well, and look at how wonderful God is, right? Look at how he comes down to our level. Do you want the fruit of a tree? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
We
He's
have a
like,
crucifix, right? The wood of the cross, and
Mhm.
Christ is the fruit that hangs on that tree.
Yeah.
And what is it that what gives us life? The Eucharist,
The
the source and the summit. It is Christ. It is the fruit of the cross.
Mm-hmm.
That tree. Do you see it?
I see this.
And it's just
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
It is.
And then when they get kicked out of the garden, they've been knocked down, right? Once they listen to the snake, they're knocked down to that animal level.
right.
Once they start dressing and eating the fruit of the tree and dressing like and living among the trees, they're knocked down to that plant level, right? What happens to the serpent when he asks, Adam, where are you? So there's Adam, where are you? And then he asks, and he says, well,
That woman.
that woman that you gave me.
Yeah.
It's not just that woman.
So
It's the
God,
woman
I
that
think
you
if you think
gave
about it,
me.
this is really your fault. I mean,
Yeah, everything starts to break down.
I'd like my rib back, please.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And then he goes to the woman. The woman blames it on the snake, and he doesn't ask the snake. He doesn't ask the serpent. He says, "What? You're going to eat dirt."
Right.
He's reordering, right?
Then he
so
has
if
some-
they're at the level of the trees, he puts the serpent back under them again.
You're
eating
going to
the
eat
dirt.
something below you.
Yeah.
You made
And
them
yeah.
eat something
minerals,
below them.
right?
Yeah.
He's at the level of the minerals, right? And so then what happens when they get kicked out of the garden? God dresses them in something.
Mm-hmm. In
What?
clothes.
In
In
skins.
Yeah.
Skins of what?
Animals.
Animals.
Yeah.
So they're being popped back up again, and it's only through Jesus Christ that we become fully man again, right? Do you see? It's all there. It's all there, and it's just so beautiful.
There it is.
And why angels? Our first interaction with temptation. What was a serpent? Of course, the fallen angel.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the highest of angels? Well, I mean,
Light bearer.
Lucifer was.
The light bearer.
Yeah. Here's a question for you.
Sure.
On guardian angels or angels in general, I know that they can't necessarily read because they can't access our mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong, but my understanding is they can't access our mind. So do we have to verbally pray to them, or can we just like mentally pray and like, can they hear our mental prayer?
Yes.
They can hear our mental
If
prayers.
you will that, because they don't have ears.
Right.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Right. But so they can.
Your spirit.
I mean, but you can like that's something
that has literally never occurred to me.
Yeah. Well,
Because
your
sometimes.
But I mean, they can't. But they can. So
Yeah, sure.
And you should ask your guardian angel for. I think that it's like on our day of judgment. I think that we're gonna see. One of the glories of God that we will see is the amount of things that our guardian angel just blocked completely.
Oh yeah.
Just like nope, I'm not letting Adam even think about this or see this or like just all these things that our guardian angel just completely
Adam
blocked.
even think about this, and just we were talking about
Adam and Eve,
and it was-
yeah.
Wow.
But
it just threw me off for a
don't
second.
you think that's gonna be such an amazing thing to see how much our guardian angel interacts with us on a day-to-day basis?
And do you guys have a guardian angel story? I bet you do. I bet you start talking about guardian angels and stuff, and we may not know 100% for sure, but once you start talking about it and people get comfortable talking about the angelic realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden people start coming up with these like really incredible stories, and you're like. It's right there in front of your face the whole time,
Yeah.
And but we get caught up. I mean, sometimes the question is, do you believe what we believe, what we say we believe, right? Do you believe that there are angels, or do you just say you believe it,
Right.
but not really? I mean, we should act like we truly believe that there are
That they're
angels
actually
and that they
interacting
are
with us.
actually interacting with us.
Do you
and
believe it with
watching
your
out for
heart?
us.
I think that's
Right.
kind of what you mean, because I think many people would
Intellectually say, yeah,
assent,
sure.
yes, there are angels, but when it comes down to it, when it's on the line,
Yeah.
whatever it is, are you gonna actually? Do you actually really believe that there are angels?
Right.
Because there are.
There are, right, and they're right here, and there's 4 of us here, and our guardian angels are. I'm sure they're with us.
They're all
being on the
high-fiving each other right now.
Well,
Yeah.
about me, finally.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple times where they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
did he really just say that?"
Dave does that a lot.
I think my guardian angel's like, oh, now you want to talk to me?
Yeah.
I've been screaming at you all day, and now you want to talk. Now that you're in trouble,
Yeah.
I see how it is.
But there's, everybody. There's stories, and I'm sure you guys have your own stories, and I've got mine. But it's.
Should you? I've heard saints talk about as they're in the line to receive communion, to intercede or ask the angels to intercede, like, because they're all worshiping our Lord. Like, have you heard this before? Is this something that rings a bell to you? I've heard that like you should ask all of the angels to be praying for you to receive worthily as you're approaching to receive communion. Have you heard this before? Or
No, but it's certainly a fine thing to do. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a right thing to ask your guardian angel to do to help you receive worthily, right?
I've heard that your mass intention, your guardian angel, takes your intention. I forget which saint it was, but they had a vision of it where their guardian angel was going up with a bowl full of incense or gold, something, laying it at the altar, and everyone's guardian angel was doing this, and
some
you
people
could
had
see
like big,
and some guardian angels were going and laying an empty bowl because that person was basically attending mass in apathy, had no intention, was not offering it, and so that guardian angel had nothing to offer the Lord on their behalf.
Yeah, well, it's in the Eucharistic prayers, right? I mean, it's actually there. In humble prayer, we ask you, Almighty God, command that these gifts be borne by the hands of your holy angels to your altar on high in the sight of your divine majesty, so that all of us who through this participation at the altar receive the most holy body and blood of your Son.
Mm-hmm. I
So
love
there
it
it
when they
is. I
read
mean,
that.
it's in the
That's-
Eucharistic
it's
prayer.
That's an optional thing
Sure.
to read, and
Mhm.
most of the time, priests don't read it. But I love when they put that in the prayer or in the Eucharistic prayer, just
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
like, wow, that is it to me is just so, I don't know. It's something that really bridges heaven and earth for me. That
Yeah. If we could just see what was happening in the mass.
I know.
You know?
yeah, totally.
Like, who was it? Gehazi and Elisha, when they were being attacked by the Syrian army, right? And Gehazi's all like, I think it's Gehazi is his name. He's all like nervous, and Elisha's like, no, allow him to see. And then God allows him to see, and there's like this host of angels, right? and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not a big deal.
Oh.
It's okay.
You guys been here the whole
right?
time?
Yeah.
And if we would just trust God, that
I could use some water.
Yeah. It's all going to be okay, right? So it's God's in control.
So why? This is off topic. I mean, it's on topic, but it's not what you were just talking about. Why is St. Thomas Aquinas called the angelic doctor?
St. Thomas Aquinas is the best and the safest place to go to learn about the angels. I mean, he
And
covers
everything-
it.
and
Simply
basically
he covers
everything,
it.
right?
Was he one of the
Is he-
people who could see and converse with his guardian angel? Do we know?
I'm not aware. I don't know.
He was like hanging out with
Probably.
Peter and Paul and like Jesus. Like, he was doing that a lot.
I hang out with
Now
Jesus.
on this particular
lot.
subject, and I'll come clean here. On this particular subject, I try to stay as close to Thomas as I possibly can, right?
Uh-huh.
Because Thomas is the angelic doctor, right? But I'm not a very good
Thomist.
Thomist. I'm not a Thomist, and so it's not that I just all my friends are, right? And so I've learned a lot from them, but I just
Is that why we don't hang out? Because I'm not a Thomist.
Yeah, that's why. That's why
all
I don't
my
get,
friends are Thomists. I
Yeah,
only
so-
am friends with
That's
Thomists.
why I don't get it. I don't get the invite. I don't make
all
the cut.
of the other reindeer. And so I'm that oddball one, right? That's not the Thomist in the group. But
You have a nice beard, though, and that makes up for a lot.
wow, that is like just completely off topic.
No, it's not. I mean, that's like...
It has nothing to do.
I think if angels are jealous of us for 3 reasons, the third one is that they can't grow sweet beards. I think so.
No.
No.
Jesus had a beard.
No.
That's why.
He,
Jesus, that's my answer.
They cannot imitate him in that way.
I'm just gonna. It's a
I-
mystery.
I ask Luke a lot of questions, like my 5-year-old, like a lot of questions. His first answer always Jesus. That's his answer.
You can't go wrong.
Well,
Jesus.
they say in seminary, Jesus is the answer to every question.
Yeah, Jesus, just Jesus.
Well, okay. So one thing that I really have loved and gotten a lot out of is reading about saints who did have a very real relationship with their guardian angels, like Saint Padre Pio, Saint Patrick.
San Jose Maria.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Saint Jose. Okay, so I didn't know that about him.
Saint Gemma Galgani.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
San
But-
Jose Maria would ask, every time he would enter somewhere, he would send his guardian angel before him.
Through a door.
through a
Yes.
door.
Okay, so yeah, if you couldn't hear what Saint Juan was saying, Saint Jose Maria would always let his guardian angel go through the door
Ahead of him.
before him.
Wow.
And then I heard, if this, I believe the way the story goes is that when he got ordained, his guardian angel refused to go through the door before him. He said, no, I would never ever precede a priest, a holy priest of God. I will always follow you now.
Wow. That's pretty
whereas
cool.
before
That's
he was
the will of
ordained,
God,
Yeah.
right? Before he was
Yeah.
ordained, he allowed Jose Maria to honor him in that way. But then after his ordination, he said, no, I must pay you the honor now. So
Well, and I heard that like Padre Pio thought up until like he was like 6 or 7 years old that everybody could see their guardian angel. Have you heard that before? Like they're trying to find this kid, and they asked Padre Pio, and was like, well, why are we worried about it? Just ask your guardian angel. They know where they know. And at that point, he realized, oh, everybody can't see. He asked his guardian angel.
when he got in trouble, it's like, that's not a very appropriate thing
Yeah,
to say.
he-
People are really seriously worried about
Well,
this
that's-
child right
he
now.
asked-
That's what I
Padre.
say. Do we
Sure.
believe it?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
we say we believe it, but when it actually comes up in
Yeah,
topics,
because-
most people are like, well, you know.
I mean, it's not like they don't
about that,
know,
right?
You know. So he asks his guardian angel. The guardian angel tells him. He says it, and then he realizes, oh, people can't see their own guardian angels. I,
Yeah.
you know,
So there's a story about Padre Pio.
If God wills it, once again.
Exactly.
right.
Exactly. That he was being assaulted by demons, the devil, physically assaulted. And he called on his guardian angel, and it took him a couple seconds to get there because that was God's will that, Padre
Right.
Pio endure this particular suffering. but then he rebuked his guardian angel, like, "What the heck, man?
What took you so long?
Yeah, what took you so long?" And he's writing this down, and I guess maybe a letter to his confessor, spiritual. I don't remember what it is, but he's mentioned how his guardian angel was very like apologetic, and I'm really sorry. God didn't want me to do it, so I didn't mean to leave you hanging,
right?
but he's the big guy.
Yeah. And so, Saint Gemma Galgani, the stories that she would send messages with her guardian angel to her Father Germanus, her confessor.
So her confessor could also see her guardian angel.
Well, I don't know if he saw, but he would get the message, right? And so,
a letter,
and
like a physical letter,
and then it would take it back. So,
wow,
yeah. So,
can we talk just really briefly on how, like, look here, we have a statue of Saint Michael the Archangel here on the table,
right?
But this could just be an Adam thing, like this could just be my own thing. But I don't like when I see so many depictions of angels looking so feminine, like they just look fair. Like a lot of them, this one doesn't, but a lot of the angels out there, the depictions of angels just look, to me, they don't look mighty. They don't look grand. Grand. They don't look like, I don't know how I would envision angels looking.
Fat little children.
Yeah, they look like fat little children.
Fat little babies.
Yeah, it's like
no.
They don't look. That doesn't look powerful to me. That doesn't look like
They don't look badass. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? I'm just curious on what your thought. Like, this isn't theology teaching. I mean, this is just. I'm asking your personal opinion. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, there are some really good depictions in art of angels where they do look pretty
sweet.
Yeah, badass, if you could say.
Yeah.
And it's so there are depictions. It's art changes over time, and there are things that come into fads. Fad's not the correct term, but there's ways styles depicted at certain particular times, so that chubby little cherub baby is very much a Victorian thing, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the feminine-looking angels, the women-looking angels is once again, like I think that was around the Victorian period as well. And so I prefer the older, depictions of angels. But once again, depicting, how right are we in when we depict it? I mean,
they're all wrong because they don't have an appearance.
Right. Well, they can manifest though. They can
take it on, but
they can
assume a body.
Right, so
but they could assume a different body. I mean,
it's not
like
a living body.
Right, but it's not like this is their one look.
Okay, hold on.
They could have many
I want you to unspool that.
Okay, so St. Thomas says that they can assume a body. So you see something, right? So there's two ways that you can perceive an angel because of the senses, right? Mm-hmm. We're sensible beings. We're rational beings, and we take in information through our senses, right? And so objectively, so if an angel assumed a body, right? So the story of Tobit and Tobias is walking along with this guy that he thinks is a man, right? And Raphael.
Right.
But Raphael, does Raphael really have a body? No, it's not a living body. And he says, well, you were sitting there eating with me. And he said, well, the food that I use is special food. It's invisible food, or, it's not a living body, right? It's simply something that's been assumed. Well, how does that occur? We don't know how that occurs.
God's will.
Right? I think Thomas says that, compressing like air molecules or like tightly together, or, pulling stuff together, that's already there. It's not creating something new. It's just rearranging stuff that's there to look like a body.
Just squeezing it really hard.
Right? Yeah.
I can squeeze stuff. It's no big deal.
So we're forging bodies at this point.
So
no,
it's not creating a body. It's simply assuming it.
Yeah.
For the purposes.
I've also heard that they could basically be manipulating the light as it enters your eyes.
Possibly.
So that it only looks like a body is, but like there's nothing there, but that it appears as if an appearance is changing.
Right. And we can get into the finding. We could spend all night. Like, how does that happen?
Right.
But is it really
Jesus.
important?
Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus
I mean,
is
the
the
important
answer.
thing is that if you needed to see that angel for whatever reason, God needed you to see that angel, it's there, right? And so objectively, outside of us, an angel could appear. Like in the case of Raphael, everybody who was with Tobias saw Raphael with him, right? But also, the angel pops up here and we all see it, right? But an angel could pop up here and only one of us be able to see it. It may not be assuming a body.
Hey, Mike.
It may be acting.
Don't name your angel.
Yeah, come on.
He had a name tag.
Wow.
My name is Mike. That's what he said.
Look at me. I'm just like, where's Mike? Where's Mike?
He's like just like Mike.
That's Juan. Come on, guy. He's one of your best friends.
Juan, did you know
Not
Sean?
Mike.
Sean and Juan.
Yes, I knew that.
You
Yeah.
did. You knew that already. I'm calling you Sean from now on.
But they can also act on our lower faculties, influencing our imagination. So I could see an angel
Uh-huh.
that did not assume a body that you guys may not be able to see because it's acting on my lower faculties.
Okay, so we've talked about guardian angels. I don't want to take up. It's probably
I
pretty.
know
late.
that you have to like drive home.
You have to
at
like
some
drive
point.
home.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to ask a question, but because we briefly talked about it off air, but it was about angels over like cities, or like they're like, we have guardian angels, but there's also angels that are over like cities or maybe
Sure.
churches or maybe I mean, can you just
Angels of the nation. So this is like
Yeah.
the idea of the principalities, right? Princes over areas, realms. And so it's in Scripture, and I'm forgetting where it is in Scripture, where the angel of one nation talks to the angel of another nation.
Well, it's
I'm forgetting. It's Old Testament.
It's in
I can't-
well, it's also in Revelation where it's like right to the
angels of
angel
the churches
Yeah, to the
of-
angel of the church of whatever.
Right,
yeah.
absolutely. So, yeah, that there is, and so and
do we need to act? Do we need to interact with, like, or do we need to? How do we? I guess my question would be practically, how do we? What should we do to invoke their intercession? How do we just how we do with any other saint? I guess
yeah, pray for, like in the case of the nation, pray for our nation, right? And so
the angel's going to take it from
It's
there.
kind of his.
That's his
He
thing.
has authority over this certain thing, and maybe
See, the thing about this is that God has not definitively revealed it to us. So I don't think we should get necessarily too hung
don't
up
get hung
in,
up
Yeah,
on it. Yeah,
that's
right.
true.
in those
That's-
finer details because it's not part of his
Valid.
public revelation.
Well, and
It could be part of his private revelation to specific people. But,
right.
But it's not part of the public revelation.
And as interesting as angels are, we have to remember that they are just creatures, and their role is to get us to focus on who? Christ
Jesus,
and
right.
God, right?
Yeah.
To
Sort of
get
like-
us back to God.
like
That's
John.
their job.
In Revelation,
Right.
he starts to fall down in worship almost, one of the angels, and there's like, whoa, dude. Hey.
Right. And so as
me.
interesting as they are, our focus should not be constantly on the angels.
Right.
Right.
You know,
It
on
should
anything
only-
else.
It should only
be, our focus should be on God, on Christ in the Eucharist, the source and the summit,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they would want us to focus on,
Right.
And so you can get into the fine details of angelology and demonology and stuff like that, but that is simply a part and at the service of the glory of
Yeah.
God.
I feel like you have to
Right.
put fine details in quotes, the
Yeah.
fine deal. Like,
Yeah.
as
In
fine of-
theology, it's a very small area. It's,
Right.
and not the
Right.
most important.
and those fine details are
So-
still pretty blurry.
Yeah, and it's speculative, right?
Yeah.
Once again, it's speculative. We only know what has been revealed, and then
Joey, I just want to thank you for hanging out with us. Hopefully, it wasn't too painful for you on your end. I'm
Hopefully you'll come back.
yeah,
we can
we-
talk
we'd
about
love-
other things too.
yeah, we'd
yeah.
love to,
So I'm not looking at the screens because I'm pretending that
You're
this
not
is
even
not.
there?
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
on Facebook.
yeah. I mean, that's what we do.
That's
So
not the
it's-
thing. Is that's not real.
yeah.
That is
Yeah, I'm
simply
gonna believe
a
you.
recreation.
Yeah.
It's a recreation of a reality. It's a false reality.
But in all honesty, I'm very grateful for your time. I know you carved out time on a weeknight to come hang out with us. I'm very grateful.
Well, once again, it was I get the glass, right?
Where
I have two now.
We're gonna hook you up with a shirt.
3.
We're gonna hook you up with a shirt and a hat as well. So
Oh man.
we're happy to give you a new glass every time you come back on the show.
Well, I hope I didn't embarrass you guys or anything. Just like,
No,
Quite
that's
the opposite,
impossible.
my
Embarrass
friend.
That is
myself.
impossible.
So
Anyway, we're on the Lord's team.
The winning side.
So raise your glass. Cheers to Jesus.
Cheers.
Guardian angels, protect us.
The V mix you have to in the that one. Yeah.